Watch mine. Got it.
Okay then, so I'm the Catman from Catman's Dots on Voodoo Radio Online, and I'm joined today by no less than Lee from the Gypsy Pistoleros.
Hey, how you doing, Phil? You all right, mate?
Oh, good fella, you.
Yeah. Apart from me double COVID jab and dying, yeah, fine.
I think we're in the same boat, mate. Okay then, so let's talk about Gypsy Pistoleros, shall we? So, first of all, where did the name come from? How did the band all start? And, well, tell us the story so far.
um, uh, Years ago, I was in a band called White Trash, and we used to support Lords of the New Church, Kill City Dragons. Then, when all of the glam stuff died with Nirvana, etc., about 1989, 1990, I moved to Spain, and I formed a band called The Last Gang, and we went out with Dio, Sabbath, Magnum, Nazareth, UFO, Sepultura, which was really weird. And the big one was the Ramones. And the guy that I was over there with at the time, Jason, we used to rehearse in like these little locales in the desert. And there was a band called Heroes de Silencio, who were massive in Spain, and Katama, a flamenco band. And they all used to just get drunk and come into each other's rehearsal studios. And we played with this flamenco band, and they were doing like some flamenco stuff, and they just wanted to play Anarchy in the UK, which was weird flamenco wise. And I wanted to play the rumba tracks that they were playing. And so there was this real cheesy sort of rumba flamenco pop hits of the time. And I said, like, let's rock up two of those tracks. And they were like, no, dude, you can't do that. That's like sacrilege. And so we did it. So we did two or three of these tracks, and we played them on the first time they ever played was supporting the Ramones in 1993, which was amazing. The reaction was just stunned, was laughter, and then people went for it. And I forgot about all of that. I was in various other bands, came back to the UK in 2005 was the first Gypsy Pistoleros, and that had Neil from the Yo-Yos on guitar. Scott from B Movie Heroes, and we sort of did some stuff. It was in various bands, and then I got another band together, and we went out, did all the states. But during that time, I was just an alcoholic, freaking rock and roll suicide, druggy idiot. Which we were just happy to like just get on stage and sort of fall about a bit, and think we were freaking Hanoi Rocks or New York Dolls and whatever. Didn't really give an arse about the music or whatever. And it's only up until, and then I walked away from it. We got a real shitty deal with Heavy Metal Records, and I actually walked on the eve of the Greatest Hits album coming out. That was in 2010. But up until that point, we'd done 5 of the big Rockahomas in America. So we played with all the glam bands. Crew, Guns N' Roses, Poison, Rat, you name them, we played with them. Toured with LA Guns, Faster Pussycat, Bang Tango, Dogs D'Amour, all of them. But we got known as the LA Guns support band. And it was really weird because we used to play all these 80s festivals with these massive bands, and all the Americans would come up to us going like, hey, man, I remember you from the 80s. And I go, we weren't fucking there, dude. So I went through that, and then I walked away from 2011. I did a solo album, walked away from it. I went and did a master's degree in touring theatre and did some B movies, some acting stuff, theatre. And the weird thing was I got back into it by doing a one-man show at Edinburgh called A Rock and Roll Suicide. And some girl came up to me about the last week of doing a month every night and went, hey, my cousin's got a record label. And I thought, oh, here we go. Because I was singing in the show as well. And she went, he'd love your stuff. And I thought, yeah, of course he would. Anyway, she gave me all the details, and he got in touch. And that was Mark Alexander Erber from Golden Robot. And they released another of the Greatest Hits album. That was to get out and take all the rights away from Heavy Metal Records. And all the rights came back to me. So I did that. And I thought, oh, if I'm going to do this, let's do it properly. It was during lockdown. So we did the Mescalito Vampires with my mate Mark, who was in White Trash with me, who we toured with Motorhead together. And I got Vinny, who was the drummer in Ghost. He came in, and then it went down all right. It was like a nod back to the old Spanish flamenco-y, whatever we do. But then I thought I need a band. I want a band, a proper band. And so I stole the best musicians from Worcester, where I come from. And we got Dave Draper involved. That sort of changed everything, I think. I mean, Dave doesn't take any shit. He's a brilliant producer. And he's done all the wild art stuff for about the last 10 years. And he, like, TerraVisions, like your Therapy, professionals he's working with this week. And he just sort of knocked all the stuff into shape, and we said, there are no rules. Whatever the song needs, do it. And so there was some real heavy stuff on the album, heavier than I think people would expect from us. But that's what we're doing from now on. It's like, you know, whatever a song needs, it gets, you know. And it's working. It's sounding great. I mean, we're sounding great now. And it's good. It's about the best band I've ever been in my life. Oh, and I've been sober for about the last 4 years and clean. So, which is very strange, which means I can't get away from anybody when they talk to me after gigs now.
So, who's your biggest influences then, Lee? I mean, you mentioned the field here, but
I was not really a rocker. I was into punk, and I came through that way. And my favorite bands have always been, excuse me, Stiff Little Fingers, The Damned, The Ruts, where I started, and then I went into like the glam punky stuff. I was lucky enough to support Theatre of Hate, Spirit of Destiny, Bauhaus, and then we went into. I loved Lords of the New Church, and we supported them. I think 3 or 4 times, and I played the marquee with them. The old one, Wardour Street, one of the last gigs, and the new one in Shaftesbury Avenue, Charing Cross. Sorry, there with them. Hanoi Rocks, I loved. That sort of band, you know what I mean? Not so much the rock sort of out rock band. So I come in that way, and that's my sort of influences, and they come out, you know.
There's only 2 types of music, Lee, isn't there? There's music you don't like and music you do like. That's it,
yeah, totally.
You know,
totally.
That's the way I.
No, totally. And I mean, like, and Dave Draper's our barometer. I mean, we'll take like a load of tracks. Like, we're recording another album in January, and we'll take, like, I think we've got 5 banging songs, and the other 3 banging songs we had, he was like, fuck off. Fuck off, I'm not recording that. It's not good enough. So
when's the new album actually due out then, Lee?
It'll be due out. It's a long, it shouldn't be a long process, but it is, you know, like the lead up times now are 12 weeks on vinyls. So we'll record it in Jan. It may be out next July, but that depends, because it depends how this new album does with Earache, because there might be, I can't say much about it, but if it goes well, it'll be on Earache.
Tell you what, Lee, I'm looking forward to my invite to the album lunch.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, we'll come to this one. We got one on the 27th this month at St. Swithin's Church, Worcester. So we're actually playing a church.
Worcester.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I'm going to have to check the old diary and the pennies as well, I think. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, you at Hard Rock Hell? Are you coming to Hard Rock Hell? Are you at Hard Rock Hell? It's November.
The one in Sheffield?
No, Yarmouth.
Yarmouth. I doubt I'll be able to get, sadly, with that one. Because
I don't know. We'll have like some. We'll have some dates up north as well. We've got to do. We've been trying to play the Waterloo.
I will definitely catch you. That's an absolute promise.
Yeah, Waterloo. We've been trying to bloody play. Ian Fletcher keeps trying to sort a date out. Then I don't hear anything from him. Then we book a show, and he says, "Oh, you're not playing the Waterloo because you're playing too close to us."
So, if you could collaborate with any artist, either dead or alive, you know, who would it be?
Oh, wow.
Of artists.
Gee. Who would that be? Bowie.
Oh,
Bowie.
Choice. That's a damn good choice, yeah.
He was
brilliant. I think was a musician. He'd be way up there on my list.
Yeah. He was like, well, I'd like to go back to Bowie and Mick Ronson.
Oh,
that would be. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
that would be
Ziggy and the Spiders, absolutely.
Yeah. That was a rock star. That was brilliant.
So you might have just answered my next question there, Lee.
Yes.
So if you was the interviewer now, doing the interviewing, who would you most like to interview?
Oh, Elvis. That would
Elvis.
be
Oh, that's
interesting.
not a bad choice. Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
well interesting. I did.
Well, you're
I
going to say
actually.
Mr. Bowie, then?
Yeah. Well, I met David Bowie only once. What was it? Late 80s. And it was
Yeah.
at the Limelight Club in London. And
All right.
he came up to me and he asked me for a light. And I don't normally get bothered about who I meet, anybody, whoever they are,
Oh, yeah.
stars or whatever. I mean, like I'd known Lemmy since I was a kid and
Yeah,
used
yeah,
to
yeah.
hang around with that. But he was like freaking some alien, some like real wow. There was some, and anyway,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got this Zippo out, and I was trying to like like light his cigarette, and he steadied my hand, and I lit it, and he went cheers, and I felt so freaking bad that freaking I'd fanboyed Bowie that, and I was drunk,
Wow.
and he was
Wow.
just as he was leaving the building. I shouted at the top of my voice, "I fucking love you, Ziggy Stardust!" And Bowie did the arms,
Yay.
and it was like,
Oh,
"Frick."
if I'd have met him, my knees would have just gone to jelly, mate. I'll tell you, he's
Oh,
one of
mate,
my
mate.
massive
But
heroes.
there's some people that just have that persona that of being something special, and he did. He was great. He
Yeah.
was he was freaking
Yeah.
great.
So, what upcoming gigs have you got then, Lee?
We've got the album launch next Friday, 27th, at
Okay.
a massive, massive old church in the middle of Worcester called St. Swithin's. And it's got the church pews, it's got the altar, it's got everything. It's been desanctified,
Okay.
so we'll be all right. So that's for like all our friends and families will be there, and it's still.
Yeah.
I think there's still tickets left, but it's going to be great because everybody. I've
Mhm.
I've always wanted to play to people that are trapped in those pews in the church. That'll be ace.
Yeah.
We've got that. Then we've got Shark Fest the day after Saturday.
Yeah.
Then we do Hard Rock Hell on the Saturday the 4th because the album comes out Friday the 3rd, and then we'll do
Yep.
Saturday the 4th. I think we're on before Pretty Boy Floyd and Wangy Malmsteen or whatever he's called.
Mhm.
And then
Is it
we go
wingy, mate?
over.
I've never been to an concert.
No,
That's why you don't
then
get
we
played on video.
no. I can take. Oh, sorry. Between you and me, I can take about one song, and then it's like, oh, fucking play a chord, play a chord.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's just because
yeah.
anyway.
Yes, it does get a bit.
then
I must admit.
then we run over from the main stage and we play the end of end of show party, end of the festival party at midnight for our a special album launch party on stage 2 as well. So we're playing twice in about 3 hours.
Yeah,
So that will be
very
fun.
good.
And then we're
What's,
doing Whitby Rocks, which hasn't been
oh, yes,
announced yet. So
yes.
that's an exclusive because that's not been announced yet.
Okay,
That'll be
cool.
announced this week.
You heard it first here, Voodoo Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your favourite song that you like to play live then, Lee?
Oh. I was gonna say not the covers because people go like, oh, they love Living La Vida Loca, and they love like Come On Eileen, obviously, which just goes nuts and is ridiculous.
I wonder if anybody
And the
actually
reason
did.
I'd like playing one of our real old ones, which is a song called Close As You'll Ever Be, which is still in the set now, and we first
Yeah.
did Life Us did in 1993, supporting the Ramones. So that's like the one that I do. All While Beautiful and Damned, which again was on that Ramones tour, which is quite worrying when you think like 3 of the songs still in our set I did in 1993 supporting the Ramones.
So then, away from Gypsy Pistoleros altogether, away from music, what are your interests, hobbies, and what do you like to get up to?
I used to, when I was a kid, I used to play football because I played for Kidderminster Harriers in like non-leagues and
Uh,
whatever. Now, God, now it just gets swamped with the band, everything. I mean, I like cinemas, reading. I used to. I got the bloody lurcher, which means that I have to freaking get up at stupid times and take it for a bloody run. Otherwise, it's bananas all day. just that spending time with the missus. It's different because like my whole sort of life's changed during the last 4 years since I haven't been drinking and whatever. So like, you know, it used to be I just used to drink myself to oblivion and didn't know what I did for years. But now, film, listen to other music, strangely enough. And I did, it's weird because I saw I've seen some really weird concerts lately. I saw Dexys for the first time ever the other week, Kevin Rowland, and that were brilliant. And I couldn't
A lot of
believe
people
it.
have seemed to have been really good on this tour.
Yeah. And I also saw Suede a couple of months before, and they were great. And I'm like,
from the past, I do remember them, yeah.
yeah, but these are the bands that because like I grew up in the time when like every sort of you were in a tribe. If you liked a certain type of music, that was the music you liked. If you were a punk, you didn't like, like reggae, you didn't like
music mattered
bloody
when I was
soul,
young.
you didn't, and now, and so it's quite nice at this age coming back and being able to go like, oh, I like that. You know what I mean? Like stuff that you wouldn't normally be expected to, like that. And that's quite
I suppose that
refreshing.
was my journey through the 80s, through the back end of the 80s and into the 90s, I mean, late 70s into mid 80s, it was all rock for me, As you said, when we were kids, you were in a gang, it defined who
Yeah.
you were. Music mattered.
Yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
and
that's what
you reach a
that's
point where you're thinking, another rock song, another rock song. So I started listening to stuff, going to Duran Duran and all that, like, and
yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah,
it or not,
yeah,
you remember
yeah,
them, A Flock of Seagulls? I still listen to them now,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
just
yeah,
takes you
yeah,
back to
yeah,
what I was saying.
totally.
There's only two kinds of music. The music
Yeah,
you don't like, the
totally,
music you do like. That's it. No need for a
totally.
label.
Yeah, it's just. I think it's just sad though that what we did have back in that day was like it really mattered the bands that you
That's right.
followed and music
That's
and the
right.
whole tribe
That's
and the
right.
whole everything. It was a real, almost like following a football team, wasn't it? That
Oh,
it
yeah.
was,
Absolutely,
you
yeah.
know. Whereas now, my kids, I mean, they're 20, 20, 23,
Mm.
24. They can just check out anything on Spotify. And I don't know whether
Yeah.
they value it because it's that easy,
That's right.
if
They
you know
don't
what I
sit
mean.
and listen to albums anymore, do they?
Well,
I
we used to
mean,
have to go,
an album
we
told
went,
a story,
yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, 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 yeah. And we used to go down to like Sounds Around was I was in Kidderminster and look through all the singles, all the punk singles that had come out and all the thing, and you go, who's this band? What's this
Even
band? You
Sheffield.
had to find it for yourself, didn't you? Whereas
Right,
now
that's
it's,
right.
you hear about a band, you check them out. And the weird thing is, I don't think bands have got time to develop either now. I mean,
No,
I remember
no,
we
no.
played, I think it was 2 years ago or only probably 1.5 years ago with South of Salem at the Crazy Cowboy Festival.
Right.
We both did that
Oh, yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah. Yeah.
And I remember seeing South of Salem and thinking, they're going to be great, but they weren't ready. And they had a lot, and bless them, they've
Yeah.
come through it
Yeah.
so far, but they were
They've
really
come such a
thrust
long
in.
way, they have. Yes,
Yeah,
I had the very same thoughts when I first saw them, yeah. And
you know,
there's two bands out there doing exactly the same now, I think. Boy, they're going to be great, big, these, Had they been
yeah,
around when I was younger, they'd have been massive, It's
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
different ball
Well,
game
there's,
now, like you say.
well, I mean, I can't bitch too much about them because we're playing their festival, but we do Planet Rock,
Yeah,
Rockstock. They won't play us on their radio. And,
unbelievable.
and it's like,
Unbelievable. You see, the music we're talking about here, that's exactly what Catman's Rocks is all about. I want to give a
yeah,
stage to up and coming bands. I want to
yeah,
get them
yeah.
noticed, because there's such a sea of talent out there that's not getting a sniffing, and
No,
it's
no,
just
you're right, totally, totally. And it's like through you and through independent radio stations is the only way that new music is getting played. I mean, we got
sadly
Come On
so.
Eileen. Come On Eileen was too rock for BBC Radio 6 to play. Our
Unbelievable. And
version.
that
It was
was
like,
that was BBC. That was the station that had the old grey whistle test. What happened?
yeah, it's like what if you ain't gonna play us doing a cover of Come On Eileen, we got no chance of getting on with, like anything else. It was close. We were nearly played on the Craig Charles show when they do those cover versions versus
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
original.
yeah.
But they dropped it, I think, with about 24 hours to go due to something came out. We won't even get into it. Spotify, I won't even go there because that's just a joke, man.
I know.
They've
I
they
must
just
admit, I
strip
do
us.
use Spotify. It's
Yeah,
it's handy.
Oh
It's
God, no,
handy for
no, no,
discovering bands, but
no.
but
That's
like, but
that's
I do take your point because you the bands are producing music. My God, you should be getting paid for that. It's
yeah. Oh, it's not only that. It's like the fact that they've stripped us of hundreds of thousands of streams because we were streamed in Latin American countries, and we were trying to tell them, well, dude, we released Live La Vida Loca, and we do like flamenco-y rumba stuff, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Isn't that okay? And they don't have to justify it, and they just take whatever streams they want off you, which is
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
But
I tell you what, dude,
major
yeah,
record labels, they've all got an account manager that they deal with,
mhm,
which
yeah,
I've always found quite interesting.
yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, though, I am planning in the near future to do a discussion about the state of the music scene and you know what we all feel about it, and try and get some
yeah,
positive outcomes from it. Of course,
yeah.
I'd love you to be involved in that, Lee.
Oh, totally, bro. I mean, like we've tried to push everybody. We've said if you love the video, if you love whatever, buy buy the album, please, because we got like the CD, we got the vinyl,
Yeah,
and they can't touch that Spotify. So
mhm,
I
yeah,
mean, at the
yeah.
moment, fingers crossed. I mean, from the earache, the last figures that we've got pre-sales, it looks like we should top the rock and metal charts, and we're going to go in top 100, but we want to make it top 40 of the proper album chart because
Yeah,
that'll be
and
massive
that's you
for an
deserve
indie
no
like
less.
us. You know, for an
You
indie
deserve
like
no
us, that
less.
would be massive. You know, so fingers
Oh,
crossed.
I'll leave. We come to end the interview now. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
It's
Cannot
been lovely
wait for that
talking
new
to you,
album,
bro.
and I
Oh,
am going to be
yeah,
playing you on Catman.
that's
That's
it.
the one. And the new single will be played on Catman's Docks this Sunday.
Oh, cheers. And if that's special vinyl.
That's beautiful. It's a thing of real beauty. That's
It is.
something I need to get myself a record player. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, yeah. We got them on CD. Don't worry, mate.
I know. I mean, unbelievable. A DJ with no record player. How weird's that?
No. Thanks, Phil, and thank you. Like I said, for like radio shows like yours and that champion this sort of music because it's the only way that we can get it out to people. You
I
know.
do my best, and thank you for the music.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, bro. Oh, there's going to be more coming from us if Dave Draper lets us.
I'm sure he will try stopping you. Lee,
Yeah,
been an absolute pleasure.
and
Voodoo
you, bro.
Cats, Lee from the Gypsy Pistoleros.
See you, bro. Ta-ra, bro. Bye.
Take care.